What's up, beautiful? I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but I hope it's you because you're here. But it really feels like people don't actually know how to have a relationship anymore. I did a video about this a couple years ago, but it's still happening, so I thought it was necessary to maybe make another video more specifically, not only what is not a relationship, but how to actually build a relationship. Fundamental skills that I think are being missed by the Gen Pop of the world right now. So let's start with not a relationship first. The number one thing I see happening right now is that people are turning what they call relationships into a transactional needs exchange and just basically finding people that you want to fit a certain need or role in their life and only going for that and seeing if that person fits into that little slot. They're not really interested in getting to know them in any other way. If you've paid any attention to what's happening lately, you probably know what I'm talking about. But it's problematic for a number of reasons. Number one being that it's really disempowering, even for the person who feels like they're getting that need met by that person. Because the more you sort of cut that person up, or the more you get cut up into little sort of pieces or slots, it's not actually holistic anymore. The person who's like sort of trying to make someone fit into a certain reality is actually unknowingly also cutting themselves off from that other person. So it's like you'll only show a certain side of yourself, right? Or you only get to know them in a certain way. It's not holistic. It's not healthy for either party. It's disempowering for both parties. I think that people think that when they get certain needs met in a certain way, it's going to help them feel good or happy, and it actually does the opposite. It actually leads over time to insecurity and feeling disconnected in themselves, and that's never healthy for anyone. And it might be justified as, like people say, it's compartmentalizing, right? And they like to think that that is a positive trait. It's actually quite disconnective. The root cause of all underlying subconscious issues is disconnection and fragmenting yourself. So like fragmenting parts of yourself off from each other. It's absolutely the root cause of every hypnotherapy session I have ever done. It leads to illness and imbalance in your physical, emotional, mental space. And I highly advise that you don't do it if you want healthy relationships. So that is the number one most problematic block I'm seeing for people in connecting, whether that is online, in person, however. It is that whole needs exchange thing. It needs to stop. It's not relating. I totally get it. It's a jungle out there. So if you feel pressure, you feel like this is all that you have available to you right now, completely understand and have compassion for you. But just know that eventually this probably will not be satisfying for you anymore, and you're going to have to actually build relationship skills. And when you are ready, moving right into actually how to build a romantic relationship. Number one, you should find them attractive. This seems very obvious to most people, but you would be surprised when you start to talk to people how many people have tried to like talk themselves into romantic connections to somebody that maybe they're not fully attracted to. And this is both physical and also just chemistry and those underlying things that make you feel drawn to someone. We oftentimes feel like someone might make sense in other ways, or that we really like certain qualities about them, and we like sort of justify continually dating someone or seeing someone they're not really totally attracted to. And I got news for you, babe. It's never gonna lead to something good, right? Physical attraction is either there or it's not. Chemistry is either present or not present. It's not really something that you can fill in with other things. It is usually just an epic fail or a waste of time and energy if you keep trying to make it work when there is not that physical attraction piece for you. It's unfair to you and to them, so be honest sooner rather than later. Let them know how you feel. Definitely communicate about how you're feeling. If you don't know how you feel yet, tell them that, but eventually you'll have to be honest. If you want to still be friends with them, Say that, make whatever it is that your intentions are and your feelings are super, super clear so that you can create that connection, that relating, because you never know where that's going to lead. And number 2 is stop trying to control the process of a relationship. It is like one of those very ironic things. We have more and more and more tools available to us in order to relate to other people, and it seems like it's actually just making people strategize through social media or through, letting people in on like a certain thing or trying to control the narrative in some way in order to make something happen. It's disconnected and weird, and when you know that someone's hiding something from you, but they also want to feel intimately connected to you in another way. And this is all people who are trying to control the process of how the relationship goes. It's not relating. It feels gross. And, when you're on the receiving end of this, it feels like you're not building connection with that person. It feels like a weird power move, and it's not fun. So to stop controlling the process of relationship, just show up, be honest about how you feel, try to connect, try to relate, and see what happens. Control is a complete illusion, and our lower mind and our subconscious mind is constantly trying to predict, manage, and control things, and this actually just keeps you stuck and keeps you in pain. It doesn't mean that when you control something, you're going to control everything that happens in that connection. It's completely impossible and honestly really egotistical. New is scary to the subconscious, but it's absolutely essential to grow and expand by allowing feelings and emotions and situations to develop in the way that they're going to, right? Nobody wants to give up control, but the reality is that none of us are in control of other people. I really invite you to stop trying to control the process, let it go, let it flow, see what happens. That's what relationships are. It's going to feel amazing. It's going to feel expansive and growth oriented, and you never know what might happen when you let go. And just be willing to go deeper, little by little, letting go a little bit more all the time, and know that connection and relating will happen at a deeper level all the time, and it will become something that's easier and easier with practice. Number 3 is stay open. Stay open to the possibility of what's going to happen in those romantic connections or in that connection. So stay open. People usually talk themselves out of truly connecting with people before they even start. It's this weird little self-sabotage. I think as we get disappointed and hurt, of course it's natural to want to protect ourselves, but the reality is that in order to make anything worth it, you're going to have to open up, and you're going to have to let people in and let them actually relate and connect with you in order to know you, in order to build something real or something great. And you never know what's going to happen, right? And that's the wonderful, amazing thing. Life would be so incredibly boring if we knew all the time what was going to happen, or if we could predict or manage situations. It's not reality. You've got to stay open. You've got to stick with it. You've got to allow love and connection to come in, because when we try to close down, we block things, we block amazing, wonderful things from coming into our life, and that's what we're here to experience. Don't shut down unnecessarily. If it's not the right fit for you, you will figure that out. Trust yourself. If you can't always trust other people, trust yourself. Trust your intuition. Figure out the way that your instincts are speaking to you, and get to know that side of you more and more and more, and know that you're not responsible for what other people do. You're only responsible for what you do, and that should put you more in this feeling of being able to influence situations, even when you can't control the process or control someone else. So stay open, my friend. And number 4 is you've got to do the work, you can't have the reward of something without the risk and without the work. You have to put in time and energy. Relationships are like anything else. If you want to have successful ones, you have to put the work in. You have to show up, you have to stay open, you have to keep communicating. And, this should be both good news and bad news. Bad news is that you're going to have to put effort into it. The good news is that this is what is actually a relationship, and this is what makes life worth living. There is no shortcut to creating relationships, but know that when you get to know yourself better and when you act from this space of love and honoring of what your true desires are and who you truly are, relationships will become a beautiful expression and experience of that in your own life. So I hope now that you feel more prepared to actually create a relationship that matters to you. Pop it in the comments below if you have any content that you want me to create for the future, because I, of course, make this for you. And until my next video, I'm sending you so much love.